Hi, scientists. Remember yesterday we learned about the scientific method, and today we're going to go through the scientific method and do an experiment at home. So hopefully you looked at your materials list to see what your materials you're going to need, and you're probably going to want to pause it at some point too. So this is just like the graphic organizer I have attached. Some of you might be able to print it and some of you might not, and that's okay. If you can't print it, just write it on a piece of paper, okay? You can pull it up and copy it down. So our topic today is melting ice. For our experiment, we're gonna see what makes ice melt the fastest, okay? So our observation right now, we just have ice cubes. Okay, that's what we're observing is ice cubes. You should have 4. What's my question? My question is, what melts ice the fastest? What melts ice the fastest? Okay, I'll wait a second. Now, your hypothesis, remember, is your prediction. It's your guess, okay? I think, and you're gonna write it in and we'll get there in just a second. I think blank melts ice the fastest. And from your materials, you should see, from your materials list on your board, you should see that you need ice, sugar, salt, water, and some bowls. Okay, so as you write that in, you're going to need ice, sugar, salt, water, and some bowls to put them in. So what do you think melts ice the fastest? Sugar, salt, or water? So that's what you would write here. I think sugar melts ice the fastest. I think water melts ice the fastest. I think salt melts ice the fastest. Or I think nothing melts ice the fastest. It just melts on its own. So that's what you're going to write here. I think whatever you think. Remember, a hypothesis, it might not work out, but that's okay. That's why we do the experiments, to figure things out, right? So my procedures are the steps that I'm going to take to do the experiment. So step 1, put ice in bowls. Okay, so I'm going to do that now. I'm going to move my desk in front. So I've got ice and I've got some bowls, and I'll show you in just a second. So step 1, put ice in bowls. While you write. 3, 4 bowls. And there's an ice cube in each one. Okay. Ooh, that's cold. Frozen little fingers. Okay. Then step 2 would be pour salt, sugar, and water. Oh, wait. Sorry. Step 2, we need to label the bowls so we know which one's which. Label the bowls. Okay. So right here are my bowls. Okay. And I've put a little sticky note, water, salt, nothing because we're not going to put anything in this one. We're just going to leave it alone and see what happens. And sugar. So I've labeled each bowl so I know which ingredient is in which one, okay? So after I label it, then I'm going to pour salt, sugar, and water on the 3 bowls. And the one that's nothing gets nothing, right? 4, wait 20 minutes. So after you pour the things on the ice cubes, you need to set a timer, whether it's on your phone or like on your microwave or your stove. You got to set a timer for 20 minutes to see what's going to happen. Okay? So let me go ahead and pour. Okay, so this one gets water, so I'm going to pour some water over it. Okay. This one gets salt, and you can do in any order. It doesn't matter the order. So I'm going to pour salt right over the ice cube. Okay. Okay, it's covered with salt. Okay. This one gets nothing, so I'm just going to leave it alone. And the last one I'm getting sugar, so I'm going to pour sugar over the top of it. Now, if you don't have sugar at home, then just don't do sugar. Then just do the water, the salt, and the nothing bowl. If you don't have salt, then don't do salt. Okay? That's okay. If you don't have all 4 things, I'm pretty sure everybody has water and a nothing bowl, so you could try it that way. And then I'm going to pour sugar over that ice cube. Okay, I'm just going to cover the top of it. Whoops, now I got sugar everywhere. Whoops. Then I'm going to let it sit for 20 minutes. So I'm going to set a timer for 20 minutes and see what happens. Okay? So for your results, you're going to say, what happened? If the sugar one melted fastest, then you would write the sugar one melted fastest. The blank one melted the fastest. Okay, that's the result. That's what happened. Okay, doesn't matter if it matches your hypothesis. This is a fact. This is what happened. After 20 minutes, the blank one melted the fastest. So then you're going to fill it in here. Now, after you finish the whole experiment, your discussion post, you're going to type in your conclusion. Remember, conclusion is if your hypothesis was correct or not. And it's okay if your hypothesis was wrong. Again, that's why we do experiments. My hypothesis was correct, not correct. Or you could say, my hypothesis was right, my hypothesis was wrong, because, period. And then you tell me why you were right or wrong. My hypothesis was correct because the sugar one melted the fastest, or my hypothesis was wrong because the nothing one, okay? So again, it's okay if your hypothesis or your conclusion does not match your hypothesis. That's just your prediction. This is why we're doing the experiment, all right? So what you're gonna do now is you're gonna go ahead and you're gonna get your bowls. Okay, those are just your sentence starters, and it's in the discussion post in case you don't get it written down, okay? So don't worry about that. So you're gonna get your bowls. If you wanna label them, you can. You don't have to, but it's always good to label them to stay organized. 1 ice cube in each bowl. Then you add your ingredient to it, and then you set a timer for 20 minutes. And hopefully we all have the same results, right? Because we're all using the same ingredients. And you can do it with other things around the house too. So it doesn't just have to be salt and sugar. If you have other, like maybe coffee grounds, I don't know. That's what we scientists do. We explore new things, okay? Hope you have fun doing your experiment. And don't forget to do your conclusion on the discussion post. Bye.